Most of us spend our entire lives running away from that question. We fill the silence with podcasts. We fill the boredom with scrolling. We fill the emptiness with productivity. Because if we stop, if we truly stop, just like he did, we might realize that we are walking in the wrong direction, and the terror of that realization is usually enough to keep us marching. But he didn't keep marching. To understand the gravity of his decision, you have to feel the weight of what he left behind. The colony, look at them, thousands upon thousands of identical figures. They are a machine, the biological engine of heat and noise. They are huddled together against the cold, yes, but they are also huddled together against the silence. There is a comfort in the crowd, isn't there? It's the comfort of the subway at rush hour. You don't have to think, you just have to move. You surrender your autonomy to the flow of the collective. You become a cell in a larger body. The crowd validates you. If everyone else is doing it, it must be right. If everyone else is marching to the ocean, then the ocean must be the destination. If everyone else is working 60 hours a week to buy things they don't have time to use, then that must be what life is. The colony is not just a group of animals. It is a representation of the system. It is the open-plan office with its humming fluorescent lights and the synchronized typing of keyboards. It is the traffic jam on the highway, where thousands of people sit in metal boxes, angry and tired, all going to places they'd rather not be. It is the unspoken social contract that says, don't enter to make a scene, don't be weird, don't stop. Have you ever just stopped? Not to rest, not to catch your breath. I mean stopping because the momentum of your life suddenly felt like a lie. There is a code written into the DNA of every living thing on this planet. A very simple, ancient, and tyrannical command line. Survive. It is the software that runs in the background of your brain. When you are asleep, it is the panic you feel when a car brakes too hard in front of you. It is the hunger that wakes you up. It is the overwhelming biological compulsion to stay with the herd. Because for millions of years, herd meant life and solitude meant death. We like to think we have free will. We like to tell ourselves that we choose our coffees, our careers, and our partners. But how much of your life is a choice? And how much of it is just momentum? How much of it is just following the person in front of you, who is following the person in front of them in a great, endless circle of survival? Look at him. He is standing still in a world designed for constant motion. He is a statue. He doesn't look like an animal that has lost a scent trail. He looks like a man who has woken up in the middle of a meeting. I looked around the conference room and realized he doesn't know who these people are. He looks like someone who has forgotten why he is trying so hard to stay alive. This is not a nature documentary. Do not look at the feathers. Do not look at the ice. Look at the posture, the slump of the shoulders, the heavy existential pause. This is the moment the software crashed. This is the moment the biological imperative to survive at all costs was overwritten by a much darker, much more human question: why? In the colony, uniformity is a virtue. To be different is to be dangerous. To be alone is to be wrong. The noise of the colony is designed to drown out your internal monologue. It's a feedback loop of anxiety and reassurance. Am I doing okay? Yes, you are doing what we are doing. Are we happy? We are surviving, and that is enough. But for our protagonist, it wasn't enough. Imagine the sensation of standing in the middle of Times Square or a crowded nightclub. The sensory overload, the sheer volume of existence pressing against your skin. And suddenly you feel a wave of nausea, not physical nausea, but metaphysical nausea. The absurdity of it all hits you like a physical blow. You look at the faces around you and they look distorted. You listen to the conversations and they sound like loops of nonsense. You realize that you are trapped in a script that you didn't write. This penguin felt the crush of the crowd. He felt the elbows, the shoving, the endless, mindless chatter of the herd, and something inside him snapped. He didn't just step out of line, he stepped out of reality. The moment of separation is quiet. It usually is. Life-altering decisions rarely happen with an explosion. They happen with a whisper. He stops. The flow of the colony moves around him like water around a stone. He is bumped. He is jostled, but he remains rigid. This is the glitch. This is the moment the matrix flickers. Why did he stop? The scientists, the frantic voices of reason, desperately want to explain this away. They say he was despondent. They say he had a neurological disorder. They say he was confused by the reflection of the sun on the ice. We love these explanations. We love to label the outlier as sick, because if he is sick, then we are healthy. If he is broken, then the system works. But look at his eyes. There is no confusion there. There is clarity, terrifying, absolute clarity. He turns his head to his left. The ocean, food, family safety, the known universe. The cycle of eat, sleep, breed, die. The path of least resistance to his right, the mountains. The mountains offer nothing. No food, no water, no shelter. They are a landscape of pure death, but they offer one thing the ocean cannot. They are his choosing. The mountains is an act of insanity by biological standards, but by existential standards, it is the only sane move he has ever made. He is rejecting the inputs. He is rejecting the programming. He looks at the safety of the herd and sees a prison. He looks at the certain death of the mountains and sees freedom. How many of us have stood at that crossroads? Maybe it was late at night in your kitchen. Maybe it was in the parking lot of your job. You looked at your life, the safe, predictable, successful life you built, and you felt the urge to burn it all down. You felt the urge to get in your car and drive until the gas ran out, to throw your phone into a river, to walk away from the mortgage, the expectations, the future. We call that a breakdown. But maybe it's a breakthrough. Maybe the glitch isn't an error. Maybe it's the only time the system is actually telling the truth. He takes the first step and then the second. He waddles away from the group. Does anyone stop him? Does anyone call out? No, the colony continues. The machine does not care about the individual part. That falls off. The meeting continues. The traffic continues. The world keeps spinning. His absence is noted by no one. And there is a profound tragedy in that, but also a liberation. He is finally invisible in the way he wanted to be. He heads toward the mountains, some 70 kilometers away. Let's contextualize that distance. For a human, that's a long walk. For a penguin designed for swimming, not hiking, it is an odyssey. It is a suicide mission. His short legs struggle against the ice. He slides, he falls, he gets up. He is not running to something. He is running away from everything. As he creates distance between himself and the colony, the noise fades, the squawking dies down, the smell of the crowd vanishes. All that is left is the wind and the crunch of snow under his feet. Silence, real, heavy silence. What is he thinking about in this white void? Is he afraid, or does he feel the strange euphoria of the escapee? There is a specific kind of adrenaline that comes when you stop caring about consequences. When you realize that the worst thing that can happen is death, and you've already accepted death, you become invincible. He is no longer a penguin, he is a pilgrim. He is walking toward a horizon that he will never reach. The filmmakers tried to intervene. They tried to turn him back. They picked him up and placed him back in the colony. They tried to fix the glitch. They thought they were saving him. But you cannot save someone who doesn't want to be saved. You cannot force someone to participate in a reality they have rejected. He turned right back around. He walked away again. He didn't want the ocean. He wanted the mountains. He wanted the impossible. We are obsessed with this video, millions of views. Why? Why does a flightless bird walking to its death captivate us more than a video of a penguin raising a chick? Because we are jealous. We see ourselves in him, but we see the version of ourselves that we are too cowardly to let out. We are the penguins who stayed in the group. We are the ones who complained about the cold but kept marching. We are the ones who looked at the mountains, dreamt of them for a second, and then turned back to catch a fish. He represents the great refusal. He is the artist who refuses to sell out. He is the lover who refuses to settle. He is the dreamer who chases a vision that everyone else says is impossible. Even if that vision kills him, The mountains represent the sublime, the unreachable goal, the escapist fantasy. In a world that is obsessed with utility, where everything must have a purpose, a price, or a function, his walk is beautiful because it is useless. There is no profit in the mountains. There is no biological advantage. It is an act of pure poetry. He is trading a long life of boredom for a short life of meaning. He is trading safety for a story. And perhaps that is the ultimate definition of humanity. We are the only species that will choose a symbol over survival. We will die for a flag. We will die for a god. We will die for a love that doesn't love us back. And this penguin, he died for a view. The camera tracks him until he becomes a speck, a tiny black pixel on a white canvas. Eventually, he disappears. We don't know how he died. We don't know if he felt regret in those final moments, when the cold finally shut his body down. But I like to think he didn't. I like to think that the silence of the mountains was better than the noise of the crowd. Science says he was despondent. The director says he was confused. But when we analyze what he left behind, the crushing uniformity, the mindless survival, the trap of the collective, the story changes completely. He wasn't lost. He didn't have a glitch. He was the only one who figured out how to escape. But escaping is only the first step. The real question, the one that keeps me up at night, is not why he left. It's what he saw when he finally looked back. We watched him turn his back on the colony, but to understand his exit, we have to understand what he was escaping. The colony isn't just a gathering of birds. It is the standard path. It is the noise, the repetition, the endless cycle of school, work, and retirement that we are told is the only way to live. He didn't leave because of a glitch. He left because he realized the game was rigged. And he made the conscious choice to stop playing. But stepping out of the norm is terrifying. You become the anomaly. And now the real test begins. Rejecting society is the easy part. The hard part is what comes next. The penguin traded the safety of the group for a solitary 70 kilometers journey toward something scientists couldn't explain.